Kaisen Season 2 has finally come to an end, and okay, I'll admit it, I was wrong about Jujutsu Kaisen. The other day, I put out a video where I ranked every single Studio Mappa anime ever, JJK included. I highly recommend you checking that out. Today, though, I want to discuss the insanity, the absurdity, and the absolutely amazing anime goodness that is Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. One of my main kind of criticisms of Jujutsu Kaisen in Mappa is that oftentimes Mappa studio animes can be all flash, no substance. This is one of my big fears with the anime adaptation of Jujutsu Kaisen, as the manga of Jujutsu Kaisen is absolutely amazing. The story is amazing, the art is amazing, so I knew that at the very least, the anime adaptation was going to be good. But part of me wondered if Mappa would again somehow manage to stifle a lot of the creative goodness and the character storytelling goodness, which is a problem that they seemingly tend to have. Obviously, when it comes to Studio Mappa anime, the quality of animation is going to be next level. Every Studio Mappa anime, even some of the worst ones, aesthetically do look amazing, and Jujutsu Kaisen is no exception, as Season 2 especially was filled with some of the most insane, absurd, absolutely breathtaking scenes of animation. Of course, this amazing animation unfortunately comes from the horrible treatment of the animators by Mappa Studio. If you somehow don't know what I'm talking about, I highly suggest you go look it up, as Mappa has come under hella fire over the last few years for these horrible treatment of their employees, forcing their animators to work some insane hours. But I will give them credit, man. These animators, though they are worked to the absolute bone, have managed to put out some absolutely breathtaking artwork. Of course, it helps when the base source material manga is absolutely insane as well. But really, though, I think you could take away from Jujutsu Kaisen is just how well they managed to land the story. Like I said, a similar problem that a lot of Mappa Studio animes tend to run into is that they slowly become all flash, no substance. They are amazing to look at, the animations are absolutely next level, and Mappa consistently has amazing fight scenes irregardless of how good the story is, but sometimes it feels like the storytelling comes at a consequence of this amazing action scenes, these amazing animations. This problem can really make itself known in these kind of dark shonens that Mappa has really been pushing. Obviously, they have their big three of the dark shonens: Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Hell's Paradise. All three of them are kind of like traditional shonen battle anime. The main focus of the show is plot progression through fight scenes, basically. But in the background, there is a darker, more grittier, more adult story, definitely a more violent story than a lot of other traditional animes. Now, it's not like Mappa pioneered this kind of dark shonen drama. There have been plenty that have come out before this big three, but really it was with this big three, in addition to Attack on Titan and probably Tokyo Ghoul, Death Note, many others, that really kind of began to open this type of theme to the more mainstream audience. I mean, let's be honest, guys, an anime, a shonen like Jujutsu Kaisen is a lot more dark, a lot more gritty, a lot more, well, up than many of these shonens that came out when I was a kid. In a show like Jujutsu Kaisen, if you're going to have a lot of really deep emotional moments completely intertwined with really devastating, up violence, you need to be able to create audience buy-in. You have to make them care about the characters and the world that the characters exist, or else, you know, when you blow up half of Tokyo, none of your audience is going to care. Season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen really, I just think, hits so much different. It's so much better than Season 1. Not that Season 1 was bad, but in my opinion, Season 2 is just so much better in how it incorporates a lot of these deep, dark, emotional themes. How you see the trauma, the character progression that our characters go through, namely Yuji, but not just Yuji, and how it really affects you, me, the viewer, when I'm watching it or when I'm reading the manga. This starts all the way at the beginning of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 with the Hidden Inventory arc, our flashback arc telling the story, the relationship between Geto and Gojo. This is really important in how it kind of sets the scene for the rest of Season 2 and how it introduces these characters and gives kind of character motivation, background, especially between the relationship of Geto and Gojo and how they view the world. Obviously, we see Geto have his major Joker moment, putting him at odds with his best friend and our boy Gojo, Geto, if we remember, struggles with his hatred of non-sorcerers, viewing them as less than human. This is really interesting, really powerful, really emotional, really traumatic, and it really links in and kind of gives us this teaser into what we are going to expect in the rest of Season 2. As the rest of Season 2, as we flash back forward into the present, revolves around our main crew, Yuji and the gang, trying to rescue Gojo, as Gojo has been lured out and imprisoned by our big group of baddies, as now it seems like the war between cursed spirit users, and sorcerers is in full swing. This is no longer just a group of students trying to exorcise these cursed spirits that plague, humanity. No, this is a war between beings, the spirit world and the sorcerers. As well, simultaneously throughout Season 2, our story does an amazing job in really personifying our cursed spirits. This is like a running theme throughout all of our spirits that are on Team Geto, Team Mahito, the bad guys. Basically, all of them throughout Season 2 slowly begin to be portrayed as human. These cursed spirits are humanized a lot of times from their own perspectives and their interactions with one another way more in Season 2 than they were in Season 1. There are many times where I genuinely felt bad for the cursed spirits, the characters that are supposed to be the villains, the bad guys. The show portrays them together and their relationships one another as human-esque. It makes you feel things for these characters that are obviously bad, that are obviously evil, but seemingly are doing all of these things for their own self-preservation. This is really kind of capped off towards the end of our season in the big face-off between Mahito, one of the main antagonists that has been around since Season 1, and our main boy, Yuji. Mahito trying to drive the point to Yuji that him and Itadori are the same, a fact that Yuji refuses to accept, as how could he be the same as this evil cursed spirit? But over the episodes, we slowly see Yuji begin to understand, until the very end when he finally accepts that they are the same. They are each other. Killing humans is as natural for Mahito as killing cursed spirits is to Yuji. This makes so much sense, as we as the audience watching so far view the cursed spirits as evil. I mean, they kill so many humans throughout this season, and they want the death of humans. So of course we're going to view them as evil. But necessarily, they aren't evil because they simply want to be. They are evil because they are born from the evils of humans. It also depends on really how you look at evil and morality. I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but there's this amazing scene in the finale of Season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen where Yuji, having finally accepted that he and Mahito are the same and that his role in this grand war between cursed spirits and sorcerers is to kill as many cursed spirits as possible, irregardless of the consequences. At this point, Mahito is basically defeated. He is stunned. He is completely in fear and in shock and is terrified of Yuji, terrified of Itadori. It's in that the anime shifts in a kind of metaphorical fashion, as Mahito has been replaced by a small white rabbit who is being hunted by Yuji, portrayed as a white wolf. This is again where we talk about morality and this concept of evil and morality. Is the wolf evil? Is it immoral because it hunts and eats the rabbit? Or is it just part of the cycle of life? It's almost like this concept of evil and morality doesn't apply here to these creatures, these things in their natural state. Cursed spirits are not evil because they kill humans. This is their natural state, similar to how the wolf hunts the rabbit. This applies vice versa. Yuji, sorcerers, are not evil, are not bad for hunting and killing spirits. This is their natural state with one another. Again, the wolf is not evil for hunting the rabbit. This kind of internal struggle that Itadori has is one of my favorite parts of this entire season, watching this character struggle and come to terms with all of the horrible action that he's done, that he's going to do, and the death that has been wrought because of it. I felt like they did an amazing job in capturing this kind of raw emotion that takes place in this episode. Like we said, JJK is a dark, gritty shonen. A lot of characters are going to die or, be close to dying throughout this show. And if you're going to make a show, a story like that, you need to be able to make your audience have buy-in, care about these deaths. The death scene of Kugisaki here, I think, is a perfect example on how this is done, and we really see the effect that this has on Itadori as the young man, completely breaks down and just absolutely loses it. Another thing that I'm always worried about when it comes to shonen, especially battle shonen, is this concept of power creep. Basically, it's this idea that as our main characters grow stronger, the enemies must grow stronger. The problem is that as these things grow stronger and stronger, it's hard to get the audience to continually buy in, as it just over time becomes more ridiculous and ridiculous. I mean, look no farther than kind of like the last arc of Naruto, or even Dragon Ball Super, and this idea of, Goku fighting gods. Basically, any battle anime, if it runs long enough, is always going to have this challenge of power creep and this power curve, and continually making the story, well, believable, having your audience buy into what is happening. This was definitely something I was a little worried about with JJK, as in season 2, we do see a dramatic increase of kind of the power level of our main characters, specifically Yuji in many of his fight scenes. Also as well, we see like 4 characters now that can all use Black Flash, this move that was originally introduced was supposed to be this like really special, unique move, which now kind of doesn't feel as special as it used to, does it? I will say, though, that the show does manage to do a good job addressing these power creep, power curve concerns in the unleashing of Sukuna in the middle of the season. As I said, there are 2 episodes where Sukuna is released from Itadori's body. Basically, it's seemingly at full power, and we get to witness the absolute destruction on hand. The show makes it a good point to show us and tell us just how strong this character is, and do it in the context of, greater Jujutsu Kaisen. As at the end of the day, Sukuna is ultimately the big, bad, evil guy at the very end of the tunnel. Throughout this season, we've seen a lot of very powerful characters. Obviously, we have Gojo, obviously we have Geto, obviously we have Mahita, and we have Itadori himself, having a massively big power spike when you compare him now at the end of season 2, to season 1. By showing us Sukuna's power in these episodes, though, it really puts all of the other characters' power into context and really shows us that, yes, while Itadori is extremely powerful, while Todo is extremely powerful, and they only continue to grow stronger in the grand context of our power curve, let's assume that Sukuna is at the very top of the curve, they are a long, long ways away from actually reaching this. This is like one of the easiest ways to kill a battle shonen, by having this power curve increase way too fast, and I think that JJK is going to do a good job in avoiding a lot of these pitfalls. Jujutsu Kaisen is amazing. This show absolutely slaps, and I do think that if they continue along this trajectory, I do think that Jujutsu Kaisen will pick up where Attack on Titan left off and continue to kind of revolutionize and change the anime and shonen space overall. At the end of the day, though, these are just my thoughts and my opinions, so let me know yours in the comment section down below. What was your favorite episodes from Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2? What was your favorite moment from Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2? There's really so many that I don't even know where to start. Easily, I think my favorite episode from this season was episode 43, Right and Wrong Part 3. It just hits so many different areas so well. It is emotionally powerful. We watch Yuji suffer deeply. We watch him have deep loss that changes him, that impacts him greatly, causing him to completely lose his will to fight. We have a reintroduction of one of my favorite characters, Todo, with absolutely insane animations and insane music on top of it that just hits you so deep. And I really think that this episode, kind of in its entirety, really embodies what JJK is all about, or at least what it's supposed to be. I think it does a very good job in actually executing a lot of these dark, gritty themes well, in a way that actually hits you deep and emotionally, like they're trying to do. They have managed to capture the soul, the essence of the story of the manga of Jujutsu Kaisen and insert it into the anime. This anime is not all flash, no substance. While yes, it is extremely flashy, one of the flashiest animes of all time, there is core substance there. It does make you feel things. It does manage to hit you in a deeper way and touch on a lot of these really emotional topics and make you feel things in a lot of ways that I don't think that people would expect from, a traditional shonen. Attack on Titan is really one of the best examples, in my opinion, of this type of anime, a dark, gritty story that not only is amazing, insane to look at, but hits you emotionally and deeper than you probably ever would expect. I think that JJK does manage to do this well. It isn't just all gore, all fight scenes, all insanity for nothing. It all serves a greater purpose, a greater story, a greater eliciting of emotion that is being told, that is being done here. And despite all of Studio Mappa's flaws, I think they have done a very, very good job of embodying the spirit of the story of Jujutsu Kaisen. Because don't get me wrong, guys, the manga of Jujutsu Kaisen, the main story itself, is amazing. I knew that the anime adaptation by Mappa was going to look and sound amazing. I was just worried that there was going to be a loss of a lot of what the soul of Jujutsu Kaisen is. I'm happy to say, though, that I was wrong. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more anime or JJK content, then please click one of the videos on screen now. As always, guys, I hope to see you in the next one. Drink your water, hug your mother. Until next time, peace, love, adieu.